Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to another Livin Freestyle game dev live stream. My name's Kevin. We do this twice a week and it's a game dev AMA Q&A. Hop in, ask questions about Unreal game development, etc. I currently work, fortunate enough to work professionally in games. I currently work at Riot Games in R&D, and there's a lot of cool stuff I get to do, but there's a lot of cool stuff that I don't get to do, and this is a chance for me to learn about a whole bunch of different things that I probably wouldn't normally encounter at the day job. If there are no questions, which happens quite frequently, there's no stress. I'm also basically working on my own prototype game, and so I live stream that in place of questions to fill in the holes and gaps and things like that. So, and right now, where we were last time, we were fighting a lot with a whole lot of boring stuff with code and trying to get settings to work and everything like that. And I was thinking about it, and I think it was a lot like I failed algebra. I did. I did not do well in algebra the first time, largely because I was fighting it. I was fighting, somebody said x equals y. I was like, why does x equal y? What if x doesn't want to equal y? I literally fought it the whole way through. I think I was reflecting back on the last stream. I think that was a little bit of what was going on. There's a lot of things in Lyra that are in code and everything like that. And so I'm fighting the way it is, as opposed to trying to wrap my head around it and maybe just kind of rolling with it. So between streams, what I did is I went ahead and went through and did some digging, and I'm happy to say that we made some progress. Largely because I just stopped fighting it. So let's take a look at those things. And to do that, we're gonna actually flop these screens and bring this one in over here. And I'll show you how we got this all up and running. First, let's do our screen left. Transition that. I know it seems like we're starting with code, but I just wanted to show you briefly what we ended up doing. And effectively what I did is I added a balancing section for the settings shared. And I put it in the settings shared based on some reading I did and everything like that, because I wanted it to apply to everyone and not individually. And in here, there's just a bunch of stuff like game sensitivity, etc. I threw in here game difficulty, setting it, applying it, etc., and a default value. And the cool thing about this is I was able to, as a result of that, now when we press play, if we hit escape and just go to our normal game options, you can see here we now have a difficulty setting, which is really cool. And if we set it down to, let's say 3, and then we apply that and we go back to our game, theoretically the game difficulty is now 3. So how do we test this? And here comes the bad guys. Let's take a look at this. What we were doing was let me just double check my levels here. Okay. What we were doing was, hold on. Oh, it looks like there's an ad bot that hopped in. Okay, anyways. So what we were trying to do is we were trying to get it so that our spawner, based on the difficulty of the mode, would spawn different amounts of enemies, right? Well, if we go into our spawner now, you'll see as a result of what we've done, we cleaned some of this up. What I can now do is I can now get the game mode, and then from the game node, I'm casting that to a Lyra game mode, and then I'm grabbing the settings, and you'll notice I have get game difficulty. So if we play, and when we play, we'll see, should print in hot pink what we set it to 3.0, and that's what our game difficulty is set to. So now we actually have a way to access game difficulty. After doing all of that, I'm not convinced that the game mode, I think the game mode's okay to do it. I think there's a couple other places that might be okay to do it as far as getting game settings, but I'm almost thinking that we might want a balancing subsystem or an encounter subsystem. And I think that's going to come as we build out just overall, as we start building out encounters and learning what tools we need and things like that to facilitate fast encounter development. But for now, we can use this chunk of code to get our game difficulty. And all we're going to do now is let's just setting timer by event, locations, player control. Where are we right now? Enemy spawn point. Start the spawn. Wait for ready. Then we do our looping. Here's our spawn count. Okay, so our spawn count is set by when we place the spawner. So if we want to change the difficulty, we could very easily up here on begin play. Let's bring back our code, and if this is successful, what we'll do is we will update our spawn count. So where's our spawn count? Let's get that. Right, and we're going to multiply our spawn count by our difficulty. So if our difficulty is, now we actually need to think about this, because we want to be able to lower and increase our difficulty. So this isn't just going to be, our game difficulty goes from 1 to 10. All right, and so if we're 5, let's take this and divide it by 5. Divide it by, no, not like that. Let's divide this by 5. Is this what I want to do? So that if we're at 5, the difficulty would be the equivalent of 1. Okay, and if we're at 10, the difficulty is only twice as hard. And if we're at 1, it's a fifth as hard. I don't know if that's really what we want to do. We want a sliding scale where 5 is the middle. Oh, so let's take, subtract 5. That's not going to work either, because if we subtract 5. Now when we're at 5 and we subtract 5, we're 0. And then if we add 1. If we're at 4 and we subtract 5, we get -5 plus 1 is -4. That doesn't work either. Is there a remap? Remap. Division, whole and remainder. Nope. I basically want to take this number divided by 10. Okay, so when it's 10, it's 1. And when it's 1, it's 0.1. I don't know why you know what, it must be too early in the morning, my brain's not thinking. Let's throw up a whiteboard. I need to do some math. I just was not planning on. Let's bring up a whiteboard. Okay. So here's a whiteboard. Can I write on this? Yes, I can. Okay, so let's just write the numbers. We got 1, 2 for fun, 5, 7, and 10. We want this to be our midpoint. So when it's 5, we want it to be 1. And hey Judith, thanks for hopping in. I'm not worried about how many viewers. We do this all the time. We do this all the time with no viewers. It's all right. Eventually when people have questions and stuff like that, they'll hop in. It's all good. But thanks for hopping in. All right, so when we're 5, we want 1. When we're 10, we don't really care. And if we're 1, let's just say it's 0.1. So wait, hold on. If we divide 5 by 5, we get 1. If we divide, that's 0.2. That might be okay. If we divide 10 by... Man, why am I having such a hard time at this? I basically want to multiply by this number. 1, 2, 3, 1 through 10. But I also want to be able to take a decimal. 5 divided by 5 is twice as much. We definitely want to be able to make this go more than twice as difficult. What does power do though? We go to the power of 1, power of 5. Oh, wait a second. What if we divide 5 by this? That's 1. 10. And 5. That might work. Let's try that. Alright, let's go back. So let's just take our spawn count and divide it by... Wait. We're gonna take this. We're gonna do divide. Alright. And our game difficulty can't go below 1, so we're not worried about that. We're gonna divide 5 by that. And what that's going to do is that when we're at 5, we're gonna be at 1. And when we're at 1, we're gonna be 1/5, and we're at 10. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Then we need to invert that. So let's go 1 minus this, I believe it is. Minus. So we're gonna go 1 minus this. All right, so let's try that again. If our difficulty is 5, we divide 5 by 5, we get 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, let's just roll with that for a second. If our difficulty is 10, 5 divided by 10 would be 0.5. So 1 minus 0.5 is still 0.5. That's not quite what we want. And if our difficulty is 1, our game mode is 5. Our difficulty is 5. I need to inverse this scale. Because we're going to go on our whiteboard, we're going to go 5, 2.5, for example. And then whatever this is, and then down to 0.5. You know what? We can cheat this and not do this with math. There's a way to cheat this. Let's wait, where are we? We're in the spawn point. Let's create a map. We're gonna cheat this. It's a little bit, I don't want to get lost in math today, so let's just do game difficulty mapping. Okay, and we're going to make this a map. Let's make sure you all can see this. Yes, you can. Okay, so we're going to make this a map. Sorry, it's going to be integers, and we're going to have a map. Integer to integer. Cool. So we compile this, and let's just do this. 1, 2. All right, so 1 is going to be 0.1. Oh, the second one needs to be a float. So let's compile that. So 1 is 0.1. 2 0.25, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe when I look at this in the map, it'll just become clear too. But for right now, let's just do this 0.25. So 5, we want to be 1. And then let's just increase this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we don't need this one. We'll make this 10 times as hard. 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.5, 0.75. Cool. All right, so we have our mapping. This will be a lot easier to figure out. We're going to take that and we're going to take our game difficulty. And we're going to find, I believe it's find. So we're going to find the value from the spawn count. That's going to give us our actual setting. Then we're going to take that, no, from the game difficulty. That's what we want it to do. So we're going to take the game difficulty. We're going to find the game difficulty mapping. We're going to multiply that by our spawn count times. And we're going to take that number and we're going to, we don't want to go below, no, we can go below 1. All right, so let's just do a floor on this. And then that will give us an integer. And then that is going to be our new spawn count. And then we can test this. So first, let's take our spawn count and set. So we're going to set our spawn count on begin play to this. All right. So now theoretically, depending on our game difficulty, we should get a different number of enemies to spawn that is basically based on 5 being a 1-to-1 value. So if we go back in here and we look at this spawn point is currently spawning. What are we spawning here? Details. We're spawning 1 enemy. So when I start, because our game difficulty is 2, we won't see any enemies. We shouldn't see any enemies. So let's just move this spawn point. Well, that's kind of weird. I wonder why that's there. This is our buddies. Put our buddies right here. And then our spawn point, we can put right here so we can see it. All right, and now when we play, no enemies. It's great. Perfect. So if we go to spawn count, or no, if we set our, oh shoot. What we need to do is we need to set our difficulty, not change our spawn count. So if we escape out of here, go to options now, and we set our difficulty to 5. All right, and we apply, and we go back, and we escape, and we play again, and this is going to get into the next thing we're going to work on. We should get 1 enemy. There's 1 enemy. Cool. All right. So now, if we, I did it again. If we go back, and we escape, and we set our difficulty to 10, we should get 10 times as hard. It should be 10 times as hard. Difficulty is going to be a funky thing, but let's just assume that it's going to make sense. How many we got? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's probably 10 there. Let's eject and count them. Okay, we got 2. Wow, they are moving so fast. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, there's 10. So that is totally working, which is great. Except we hit a breakpoint in our code. And let's escape out of this. Okay. So we've successfully updated to have game difficulty now. So let's set this back to 5. Options 5. And we can work on. So now we should be back to the number of enemies that we put in is the number of enemies we have. Oh geez, he kicked my butt. Okay, so that's great. So now we can go back to some of the other things we were working on as well. This is great. All right, so one of the things that I was mentioning that we need to change now, let's move this back over to the other side of our encounter, is as we play, we're going to want to have a way, just as part of encounter debugging, to, when we make this change, we want to be able to make it on the fly, like reset the encounter. We don't want to always have to stop and restart and everything. So it would be great if we did a little bit of digging into how to restart an encounter, which we have not done yet. And so I thought we would just dig a little bit into that. Now there's going to be a couple of things that need to happen for this to work. We could destroy, when we apply that setting, I think we could destroy all of our actors and respawn them and start again. But we would need to, this is going to be complicated because we need to not only destroy the actors, but we also have to destroy all the dropped weapons and everything. In addition, you'll notice that in here we are setting timers by events, and we have a do once in here for the start spawn. Well, we're going to need to have a reset on here so that the spawning will start again. And then also our players, this is going to be interesting. There's a lot that's going to be involved with this. All right, so let's see if we can figure this out. We have our game mode, and that's going to be, if we take a look at our world settings, we have a combat gem, we have a game mode. We don't have a game mode override in here. Let's see what's in these Lyra game modes. Game mode. Game mode. Alright. So B Lyra game mode inherits from Lyra game mode. And there's a game session, a game state, a player state, all of those things. There's also that thing that has phases, which is, I think it may be the experience. Let's check. Lyra experience definition. Oh, loaded, activated, deactivated, and unactivated. Action slots. Interesting. Okay. Shooter core. That's our game features. These are abilities. We're adding abilities. What else can we do here? Add abilities, cheats, components, registries. User front-end performance settings. Interesting. So we can add a lot of things in here. So this is going to be adding abilities. Here we're adding components. Combat scoring. Let's take a look at combat scoring. I believe this determines our number of players. This is our countdown. Oh, okay, look at this. We have a game phase subsystem. All right, cool. What can we do with a game phase subsystem? Trying to see what's available to me. Okay, it's not gonna be under utilities. Gameplay conditions. Class. Is there... Observe team. Pick upable. That's not it. Where's the phase stuff in here? Phase. Game phase. Control rig. Here we go. Game. Inside game, we can construct an object. We can start a phase. When phase ends, when phase start is active. What I'm looking for is a way to jump to a phase. This is the phase warm-up. So we're gonna go to the phase start. Okay. And the phase warm-up. Interesting. Phase plane. Reference view here for us to use. We just have to find it. That's the only place this is used? There's no way. Alright, this is our warm-up phase. In the warm-up phase, should skip directly to gameplay. Sanitize durations. Look at this. This is cool. So when we start, let's put a breakpoint here and see what happens. See where we are. If we start, we pop in here. This is an ability? It's a game phase ability. Oh, that's kind of wild. Should skip directly to gameplay. Is that true? It is true. Why is that true? Interesting. Let's stop and go again. Okay. So this is true. Oh, test full game flow and pi. Okay, so there's a setting we need to find. Okay, so let's get this, rid of this, and we'll continue. And then let's escape out of here. And then I believe it's gonna be, the setting we're looking for is test full gameplay. Yeah, doesn't exist. So I'm thinking it's in project settings. Project settings. Bring this over here. And let's see what we got for Lyra. Build targets. Base classes. It's gonna be a checkbox. It's always a checkbox. Huh. I don't see it there. Where does that come from? View Lyra developer settings. Find all. Oh. It looks like this is in code. Maybe? Oh, maybe this is it. Okay, hold on a second. There may be another way to access this. We go like this. Oops, not what I wanted to do. Okay, so Lyra. B. Default flow. Maybe this isn't something that shows up in the editor, even with cheats. Because there's a Lyra cheat right there. There's only 2 of them, and I don't see any others. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to assume that that works, because I would have to compile code. And if we did that, then it would basically take the rest of the time for us to rebuild the engine and come back in. So let's just look at this as an example of what we can do. So let's see here. It goes apply effect all. Free game lobby. The other thing we could do though, we could do. Let's find where all this is used. Only used once in here. Okay, there's only 2 places it's used. Warm up. Oh, and for us it's only here. So we could just go straight through here. Yeah, what we can do is we can just go straight in here. So this is going to force the flow. Let's see what happens now. I don't think I've ever played like this. Waiting for additional players. Oh. So as we're waiting for additional players, can I be killed? Yes. No. I don't think that did damage. 3, 2, 1. Oh, cool. Okay. So now we're ending the ability of auto spawn. What the? Resume. Broadcast player state has a problem. Wait a minute. Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool, actually. Oh, I'm so glad we did this because, okay, let me explain to you what's happening. Let's go again. So we're starting out. This is effectively a pre-game lobby. And we're running around. And everybody, everybody's all running around just like you do at the beginning of PUBG or whatever. Any of those games, you can sit here and try to kill each other, but you're not actually going to do any damage. Because everybody's invincible, right? And then once we've finished waiting for additional players, then we're going to restart. I don't understand why this broadcast on player state changed is an exception. I haven't figured that out yet, but then we're going to continue. Then the game's going to start for real. And once the game starts for real, the problem is none of our enemies are here. So we need to do one of a couple few things. One is we need to Oh, we need to wait to spawn our enemies until the game actually starts, not until the encounter is ready. So hold on a second. Let's take a look at our spawn point. We just do this on begin play. We're not even thinking about it. We don't need this up here anymore. We use this over here. So we need to wait for encounter is ready. I think it's wait. For experience ready. And then on ready. We need to do this. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we'll try it. Nope. Interesting. So I guess that's not the experience ready. Every single time. I wonder why this is. We're gonna have to figure out that too. Decoder error, script stack frames. Okay, so that doesn't work. Phase. Maybe we need to wait for a phase. So the phase warm up, that applies everything. There's a delay. Wait for player's duration and countdown duration. We get the game state. And if it's a Lyra state, we get the countdown seconds remaining. La-di-da-di-da. If it's greater than 0, we multicast message to clients. The message that we're casting is match begin countdown. Ah, okay. Cool. And then match begin countdown. We're broadcasting the same message to the gameplay message system. And then when we're done, we go back in here. And if it's not, wow, that's an interesting way to make a loop. Okay, and it's not, we're gonna pop up here, come over here, we're gonna say, we're gonna remove the pre-game load from everybody. And we're going to do a Lyra game phase subsystem phase playing. Start phase. Okay, so let's take a look at the phase playing. Phase playing. That's it. That's all it does. Okay. So back up over here. Let's get the game phase system. Here's our spawner. Game phase subsystem. Can we get the phase? Nope. Phase? Is phase active? Playing. Playing. Here we go. Okay, that's cool. Oh, this is wild. This is gonna work, but it's kind of weird. Okay, so we're not gonna wait for an event. What we're going to do is we're going to set this timer by event, and this is going to check for players. All right, and it basically what this does is it checks to see if players are in a certain radius. And if they are, it finds the player, it branches, it starts the spawn, and it clears and invalidates the timer. The whole point is it starts the spawn. Okay. So what we're going to do is, this is a looping timer. Player detection frequency. Okay. We're getting there. We're almost there, I think. Let's see. Let's move this down. Make some room. And what we're going to do... Judith, are you still hanging out? All right. So we're just going to make some room here. And what we want to do is we're going to get the game subsystem. And this is basically going to force us to wait. Let's move all of this over. And this loop is going to come through here. And if this is true, we're going to do our stuff. So this is basically putting in a branch, if you will, of if we're playing. Like as long as we're playing, it's going to spawn our enemies. This was not quite what I thought we were going to be working on, but this is all important for us to figure out how all this stuff works so that we can get this thing online and have people start playing it. So if it's true, we're going to do some stuff. If it's false, it's nothing. So all that simple change should do is make it so that during this phase where we're waiting for additional players, so we're waiting for all of our friends to join us, there should be no bots. All right, and we can run around, blow things up, get used to it, etc. Although I don't know if we want to do this because it does potentially give you the ability to move around the map before it started and kind of get an additional advantage. So 3, 2, 1, and back to the beginning. And now do we have enemies? We do. Look at that. Oh, cool. Okay, that's great. Oh, headshot. Did you see that? That was amazing. Okay. Now we're at a state where we're back to kind of what I was talking about. Now our enemies are spawning when the phase starts. That's great. Now we need a way to restart. So what's interesting is I think there might be something we can do in here. Finish the warm-up phase. That's all it does. Match begin countdown. Oh, this is a different countdown than... Interesting. How do we activate this ability? Start phase. I have a crazy idea. Let's try something here. So we're going to go through the full loop here. So in our spawn point, we're gonna hack this to work. So on begin play, we're setting a timer, and the timer it's basically detecting whether or not we started playing, and if we're close enough for the spawn point to spawn. If it is, it's going to do this stuff. And then when it does this stuff, what it's going to do is it's going to do an event start spawn. Okay, the experience has to be ready already, so we don't even need that. This is a do once. What I want is So here's our here's our stagger spawn. So this is happening over some duration depending on how many enemies we have. Then let's put a delay in here. Put a delay in here. And let's make it a 10-second delay. And then what we're going to do is let's just see if we can, with the game phase system, start phase. And then interesting, which of these is the right one? That's a good question. The one that they have in here is here. Okay, so 10 seconds in, we're gonna start warm up again. I have no idea. This could just break everything. So let's save everything just in case. We're not connected to Perforce. Perforce. Accept. Check out. Okay. Here we go. Wait, what just happened? Here we go. Alright, so we're waiting for additional players. We can actually, for debugging, we should reduce this delay. We'll figure out where that's done. Alright, so now 10 seconds later. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Waiting for it. Look at that. We're in a new phase and we're invincible again. Interesting enough, our enemies didn't die or anything, which is cool. This is cool. I think this is good. I think this is good. Alright, so what we want to do is let's make, I think we want to make a new phase. I think we want to make a restart phase. All right, so let's do a couple things. Let's see if we can do wait for players duration. 30 seconds. Jeez Louise, we don't need that. Let's make it for 5. This is debugging, people. Okay, so first that's 5. And I think oh, this is gonna be interesting. All right, let's browse to this. Let's do post game. What does post game do actually? Let's look at this. Damage immune. New game time. Play next game. Interesting. Actually, I want to do one more test. I want to go to post game. So in our spawn point, after 10 seconds, let's go to post game. Post game for the win. All right, see what happens. All right, so 5 seconds. Then we're going to start. Cool. Then 10 seconds later, where did our enemy go? Oh, he's running around over there. Activating ability, post game. It didn't do anything except make me immune. Oh wait. Oh. I think that's working. Oh my goodness, it worked. Sweet. Okay, dude, that's great. So we have, look at that. Okay, so we have a way to restart our encounters now. This is great. Okay, so this is just gonna infinitely keep playing, which is fine. Okay, so all right, how do we connect this in now? Like, we know what the loop is, we know how it works. How do we connect this in? And I believe this is where the answer is kind of a little bit of a bummer, because I think we have to do it in code. And let me show you where. All right, inside of our settings shared, there's an apply gameplay difficulty. So if we change our gameplay difficulty, when we click apply, that should effectively reset the encounter. Oh no, you know what? I don't think we want to do that. I think what we want to do is we want to create a debug button to restart the encounter. Here's why. Let's say we're in the middle of a run and we realize it's too easy. Maybe we want to just apply a difficulty for the second half of the run. We could do that right now. But if we change this so it restarts the whole encounter with a new difficulty, that's kind of a bummer. So let's go back to our debug menu. Let's do that. Which is on the P key, debug. This is going to be a widget, I believe. Here it is, debug options. Abilities and team info. Let's go back to our spawn point and let's remove this. Delay 10 seconds. Compile and save that. What contains invalid data? Illegally references. That's fine. We're not worried about that. Okay, and we will fix that later. I wonder why this steps up like this. Just cleaning up blueprints. Leave your blueprints better than when you found them. Okay. Alright. So this is our spawn point. And then what we're going to do is we need debug options, abilities, graph. Oh, look at this. I think this is going to be easy. Famous last words, right? I think I'm probably going to eat those words. Let's see here. Let's duplicate this. And rather than team info, let's change this to be restart. Restart encounter. Interesting. Doesn't really center it, does it? I don't want to get lost. Don't get lost. Stay on target. Okay, so then this is a clickable button, and this is going to be what are we really going with those names? Oh, what an awful name. Lyra modal 2. Let's at least give it something we can. Okay, so in our graph, we can actually reference this. And on clicked, We're going to get our phase system. Oh no. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say start phase. Start phase. And the phase we're going to start is going to be post game. I don't understand, like one of these is an asset and one of these is a what? The class. Post game. Okay, cool. So compile and save. Check out that. Go ahead and play. And now, oh, and then we can debug a bunch of stuff too. So here's what I'll show you because we're running out of time. So we're gonna start. We could probably get rid of the warm up, actually. Hey buddy, how you doing up there? Okay, so if he kills me, I'm gonna respawn. And the problem is I'm gonna respawn pretty dang close to where I am. And he's already picked up a gun. And you can see there's a gun over there. And he's doing the things that gunners do. Alright, so now we have 2. So if we bring up our debug menu, theoretically we press this button. Did it do anything? Oh, it did. Okay, cool. So we repress the button. That's great. Okay, we can skip. Alright, we can skip that first part. And then now the question is are all those weapons still here? Oh no, they're not. We don't even have to do this. This is great. Godnona, welcome again. Good to see you again. How you doing? Maybe it's Godnona? I apologize if I'm messing up your handle. It's either Godnona or Godnona or Godnona. Either way, welcome back. So this is awesome. We can restart our account, although where was the enemy on that one? Hold on a second. Let's reconnect this so we're skipping straight to our stuff. We'll compile and save this and then we'll play. And then, all right. And then what's going to happen is we're skipping straight in. So the enemy should be running already. Enemy's running already. It's great. Okay. And then I'm going to run away for a second. I'm going to bring up debug and I'm going to restart the encounter. And when I restart the encounter, it should make me invincible. I am invincible now. It should pop up a message so you know that's happening though. Okay, and then here we go. I'm back. I'm a girl and she's there. Dude, this is awesome. And if I get killed now, it'll leave a gun here. We just got wrecked. Hey buddy, come kill me over here. I'm doing this on purpose. Hop up here. Wow, how did she hit me? Okay, so now let's restart the encounter. She can't hit me because I'm invincible because the encounter is restarting. Dog nabbit. She picked up the gun. So now I can't see. Okay. Where's the bad guy? Here, I can do it here. Restart encounter. Don't get that gun. Leave that gun alone. Leave that gun alone. Don't touch the gun. There we go, we're restarting. Is there a gun over there on the floor? Nah, it cleans it all up. Oh, we are so set. This is great. Okay, so now that we've got that, she just wrecked me. Now we can do what we were doing before. We can go back to a couple of things. So right now, if we play, our difficulty is set to 5, right? And we can see that if we look at our options. So if we want to increase it, let's make it a 6. All right, if we apply those, and we go back, and then I go and I restart the encounter now. There we go. Sure does take a long time. Now, how many enemies do we have? 1, 2. 2 enemies. That worked. Okay. If we set our settings to 7, let's go 8. We apply those and we go back, and then we restart our encounter. I do want to look at why it takes so long to restart. But it doesn't matter because it's far faster. It's going to be far faster than what we were doing before. 1, 2. Wait a minute, 3. Okay, wait, there's 3 people? Oh, because it's a multiplier. It's a multiplier. And encounter difficulty is not going to be just based on numbers. It's actually also going to be based on level of enemies. But man, these people are persistent. My goodness. Ah, okay. So that's cool. If we change our spawn point to have 2 enemies instead, all of our numbers are going to change. So let's take a look at that. Enemy spawn point. Right now we have this game difficulty mapping, and I think we're at a 7 or an 8. So we should have 6 or 8 enemies now when we play. And we'll make this a lot more interesting by making it so 2, wait, 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 8. Okay, we'll make this more interesting because I remember you had asked this once before, because I think you said you were working on a mobile game, right? Good Nona is asking, can I make a video about how to make a simple game in Unreal? I mean, all of these videos are about making a game in Unreal, but it depends on what you mean by simple. So at this point we have difficulty. I think that what we're going to do is eventually difficulty is not only going to change the number of enemies, but it also might change the type of enemies. So right now we have a single kind of enemy. We're gonna have, you know, beast mode dudes, beefcakes, and little fodder and all kinds of stuff. And we're going to have to be a little more, use a better razor to figure out what difficulty means. But at this point, we're in a good spot. We are in a good spot in the sense that we can restart, we can change our like right now I'm getting crushed. I can say, you know what, this is too hard. Let's go back down to our normal difficulty, apply this, and restart our encounter. And when I do that, I'm no longer being killed, which is cool. And then our encounter restarts. And now we should only have 2 enemies, I believe it is. Where are they? Okay, we got 1 right there. That's 1. Uh-oh. Nope. I still have the old Doom days on. Ah. This is definitely not what I want. I don't want to have to be backing away the whole time. Oh no, that's not the button I wanted. Oh, she killed me. Okay, I think that is a good place to wrap up today because we made some progress. That feels good. So now that we have our encounters up and I don't want to say they're up and running, but we have an ability to do a little bit more debugging on encounters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to fix that restart UI. And then what I'll do is I'll probably fix it so that the speed at which it takes to restart the encounters is a fair bit faster, which will be cool. And at that point, I think we can start trying to figure out what is the right difficulty. What are the right abilities? How much power do you need? How much shields do you need? So I'm hoping starting on Sunday night, we should be able to start, playing the game, seeing why if it's too hard or too easy, and just iterating, fast iteration. That's what we're trying to get to. God, Nona, if you kind of are a little more specific on the type of, how to make a simple game in Unreal, all of these videos are about making games in Unreal. But if there's like a specific thing that you need help with, I'm happy to help try to answer those. Also, there's probably some really, there's so many good starter and intro videos and tutorials out there. If you're working through one of them and you have questions, again, that's why I'm here. So I'm here twice a week. Hop in, ask questions, and we'll kind of try to go over that or help you troubleshoot whatever you're bumping into. So everybody else, thanks for hopping in. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to throw those in the comments or hop in the next Q&A, which is going to be Sunday night at 10:15 Pacific Standard Time. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and I will catch you all on the next stream. Have a good one.